Welcome to how to create a fitness flyer template in Adobe Photoshop. Learn how to promote your brand and customize the design by using stock photos from Envato Elements or your own images. I'm Jonathan Lamb, a digital artist with over 10 years of experience, and in this video, we'll take you through step by step on how to create this fitness flyer template using just basic tools found in Adobe Photoshop. So before we begin, make sure to check out Envato Elements. With just one subscription, you'll have unlimited access to assets such as the ones we'll be showcasing in this video. Millions of creative digital assets with simple commercial licensing. And you can cancel at any time. Subscribe now with the link in the description below. So let's start by going over what assets we'll need to complete the tutorial. You'll find links to all the assets you need to follow along in the description below. First, we need some stock photos. Here we have some examples from Envato Elements, but feel free to use your own images. Next, we need the two fonts that we'll be using, which include Pacer and Visby. Both are available from Envato Elements as well. And finally, a fitness logo. So when it comes to creating the design elements of the fitness poster template, it might be a good idea to plan out what you need to include. This will allow you to organize the template and give it a clear message that people can understand. Examples of this may include the logo that you see here on the very top, an eye-catching header to grab the viewer's attention and to generate interest, information about what you offer, such as classes and fitness programs, any promotional offers that you may want to include to persuade potential customers to join, and a call to action at the very bottom here to get customers to interact with you directly in some way, such as contacting you via a phone number or email address. So first, let's get started by creating a new document by clicking on the Create New button here. And then we want to go over to the Print section and select A4 or whatever size that you want your flyer to be. Click on Create. And then next, we want to divide our workout flyer template into sections. So using the Shape tool here, we want to click and hold down on the Shape tool, or click on the small little arrow on the bottom right here and select the triangle tool. And then over at the top here, we want to change the stroke so that it's set to none. And we want to change the color here as well. So let's use a color. So for this particular example, we're going to use the color E23255. Click OK for that. And then just simply click and drag on the canvas to create our triangle. Now from here, we're going to press Ctrl T to transform our triangle into the shape that we want. And if we hold the Shift button, we can then transform the triangle without constraining the proportions. So once we've got the shape that we want, make sure that our triangle is in the middle of our canvas, and then just move it to the top here for our logo placement. Excellent. And then from there, we want to do the exact same thing. So we can duplicate our triangle layer here, or just simply create a new triangle shape like so, and then move that to the bottom. Now for this triangle, it has to be a little bit bigger and a little bit wider because we're going to be putting our call to action inside this triangle. So make sure you've got enough space for that, like so. And then once you've done that, it's time to create the space for our header. So going back to the Shapes tool here, let's click on the small little arrow on the bottom right and select the rectangle tool. And we're just going to draw out roughly a rectangle where our header is going to appear, like so. And then once you've done that, we'll want to transform this so that it's got a interesting shape to it. So go to Edit, making sure that the layer is selected. And then we want to go to Transform, and we want to transform the perspective. So once you've selected that, just go to one of the sides here, and then just click and drag down like so to change the shape. Excellent. Now using the rectangle tool here again, we're just going to draw out another rectangular shape. It doesn't matter how big you make it, as we can always change the size of it later on. We're going to drag this rectangle layer to the very bottom like so, and then making sure that the rectangle tool is selected and that the right rectangle layer is selected, we can then go ahead and change its color to white like so. Now once we've done that, we can go ahead and hide our background layer so that we can see our rectangle, and you can see it's behind the other three shapes. So over here we can go ahead and press Ctrl T just to turn it a little bit, rotate it like so, so it's at an angle. I'm just going to move it to the bottom left of our composition like so, and this is where our discount offer is going to appear. And we're going to create another rectangle shape like this. This time we want to make it black, so let's go ahead and change its color, maybe not pure black but a dark enough color like so. And then using the move tool here, we're going to move it to the bottom right, move it behind our white rectangle, and then press Ctrl T to transform it, and then just rotate it at an angle like so. And this is where the information of our flyer is going to appear. Excellent. So now we have the main composition of our flyer. The next thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to start to populate it with our information and our logo. So let's go ahead and highlight all of our layers here, and we're just going to press Ctrl G to group them, and let's name this shape elements like so. And then on top of the shape elements here, we're going to go ahead and type in our fly header, so using the text tool and making sure the text color is set to white. We're going to use one of our fonts here, and the font that we're going to use is Pacer. So over here we can click on our canvas and type in fitness flyer or whatever the header you want it to be. Then press Ctrl T to transform it at an angle like so, and we can even make it smaller so that it fits in with our composition. Excellent. Next, we're going to want to use the font again, and we're going to use this text down here for our call to action. So type in call here, press Ctrl T just to make it a little bit smaller so that it fits into the triangle shape there, like so. So from there, just continue using the text tool to populate the rest of your flyer with information. So here you can see that we've included now the discount text at the bottom here and the information of our gym on the bottom right, as well as the phone number and the website. Now you notice also that the text is using a slightly different font. So we're using the Visby font that we've downloaded from Envato Elements just to give our flyer a little bit more variety. And then finally, we'll just place our logo at the very top of our flyer, like so. Excellent. Now also remember that you can change the color of the text. So you can see that over here at the bottom, we've used the same color as the color that we've used throughout our branding, like so. And you can change that by clicking on the color box at the top here when you've selected the text tool. From there, let's go ahead and organize our layers. So I'm just going to select all of the text here, like so. Press Ctrl G to group them up, and then we can call this text. And we can also go ahead and color code our layers as well. So just right clicking on the eye here and then choosing a color so that we can easily see the layers that we're using. Awesome. Now from there, we're going to want to import our photos and images. So to do that, we go to File and then select Open to open your image, or we can simply just click, drag and drop it from Windows Explorer into our composition, like so. So here we can go ahead and then just press Ctrl T to just expand it or reshape it to the way that we want in our composition, like so. And then we can also drag and drop in another photo, like that. Excellent. Make sure that the images are below the rest of your layers, like so. So we can actually go ahead and select these two photos, group them up. Let's change this into another color, and let's call this photos. And in here we can use whatever photo that we want. So if we wanted to change the photo at the top here, you can click and drag and drop it in. Just make sure that it's in the middle, like that. And if there's any excess like this, we can go ahead and right click on our photo. So I'm just going to bring the layer panel over here so you can see what I'm doing. So right click on the layer and then select rasterize layer. And then once we've done that, we can go ahead and use the lasso tool to select the part of the image that we don't want, and then simply press the delete button, like so. And you can easily change and swap the images that you want for your flyer template by repeating the same process, like so. Excellent. Now, as a final touch, let's go ahead and add some subtle shadow effects to our composition here, just to make it stand out from the photos a little bit. So select your shape elements folder, right click on that, select blending options, and then in the new window here we want to select outer glow. Now straight away you'll see that there's some subtle glow effects that has been added to our composition. Now let's go ahead and ramp that up so you can see it a little bit more clearly. Now we want to change the color here from white to black, and the blend mode from screen to multiply, and the opacity, let's call it at 35, just to make it a little bit more subtle. Make sure the technique is softer, the spread is at 0, and the size here, you can make it bigger or smaller. So if I bring back the opacity here, you can see how that affects the shadow. So let's make it a little bit smaller. So we'll make the shadow about 21 pixels and bring the opacity back down to 35, like so. And then let's keep the range at 50% and then click OK to apply it. Excellent. So that's how you can create a fitness flyer in Adobe Photoshop. Feel free to replace the images and use other stock photos or your own to create your own gym flyer examples. If you liked this video and would like to see more, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified of any new and inspiring videos. If you're looking to learn even more, check out some of our other tutorials in the channel. Have fun, and I'll see you next time on Tuts Plus.